Welcome back to the Pool Table Podcast, hosted by 8THWNDR. This is Sal, and today I'm here joined by my mom.
Hi, this is Kathy.
You don't gotta talk like all formal and everything. It's just the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, we've been meaning to have this episode for a while. I think a lot of people know, I don't know if they know who you are. Like, you do all the customer support and everything like that. So I'm sure if you've emailed us about your order or anything like that, you've probably talked to my mom a couple times.
Yeah, you think you're talking to Sal, but you're talking to me.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of stuff written down. We posted on the story for you guys to ask questions, give us topics. So we're going to start with the most random one, which is what do you think the best gum flavor is?
Yeah, so the best gum flavor is hands down bubble gum, and it would have to be Bazooka. And I know that I've told you this before, Sal, but I'll tell you again, that in 4th grade, I won a bubble blowing contest, and I am pretty sure that I'm still the reigning champion. I'll take anyone on in a bubble blowing contest.
I don't know. I think I might be able to beat there. You give me 2 Hubba Bubba ones. And I think I can do.
Yeah, I can do it with one. I could do it with a Trident.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so game on.
All right. Well, I think the best gum flavor is the Hubba Bubba strawberry watermelon. That's my favorite.
I'm not really into the different fruity flavors. I'm pretty traditional with either mint or bubble gum, or if I'm getting really crazy, let's do some bubble mint.
Yeah, bubble mint's good.
I like to combine those.
I like that. I just don't like the orange gum and the citrus and all that.
Yeah, no, that doesn't do it for me either.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess we can move on to the next thing. You want to give a few shout outs?
Yes, I do. Shout out to my friends Liam and Dean, Justin, Corey, and Jesse. And speaking of Dean, I know everyone is a big Dean fan, and I am included in that. Dean has a very special place in my heart, as does Liam. And so the Dean story, I know Sal told it on one of the previous podcasts, was at a pep rally. He stood up and took his shirt off and revealed his nipples covered in 8THWNDR stickers. And I remember Sal coming home and showing me that as a video. And it was immediate, he's the greatest kid ever. It was hysterical, and I thought it was brave and wild, and it was the best. And so for quite some time, he wasn't Dean. He was just Nipple Sticker Kid. So yeah, that's how Dean started to have a special place in my heart.
Yeah, I would have got Liam or Dean on to co-host this episode, but Liam, I think he might still be asleep, and I think Dean has work today. So just us today.
Just us.
So
good.
Yeah, they want to know from your perspective, because I don't even know the answer to this. What was I like as a kid?
So as a kid, Sal was, as a baby, he was super duper grumpy. Didn't want anyone to bother him. Just kind of leave him to be lying on the floor, looking up at the ceiling with some space. And that was only for the first 6 months. After 6 months, he was super just smiley, happy, easygoing. No temper tantrums, except maybe when Dom was first born. I think you slapped me in the face, and I was like, okay, someone's got to come get this kid, because I was not happy about that. Other than that, super easygoing, great person, big heart, very nurturing and caring. As a child, always a bit of a schmoozer. Always ramping it up with the parents to be polite and sweet and nice, and he can turn on the charm like nobody I know. But yeah, really easygoing and happy. Just no trouble. No trouble, nothing bad.
I only remember you telling me that I was really grumpy, and you had to put me in my own room because I just wanted to be alone or something like that as a baby.
Yeah, just leave you alone. Which, yeah, I don't know why, but it turned around once you could sit up and interact on your own. You just, you became really the person that you are today. So kind of what you see, if anybody knows Sal well, you know that, he can get a little temperamental, but it's pretty short-lived and pretty rare. And that is basically my personality. So I know that Corey likes to call me female Sal, and it's pretty much right, only I think it's your male Kathy. So yeah, we're very alike. And so that means that I can see through when you're full of BS.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, that's not. I see right through that.
Well, it's like you always say, you can't bullshit a bullshitter.
I do say that. Yep. So when Sal was a kid, I remember so distinctly, he had a collection of shoes. I mean, he didn't shop for them himself, obviously. I did. And a family friend stopped over for something, and Sal came out with his pair of shoes and was like, hey, look at these shoes. And the friend was like, oh, that's nice. And he went back to his room and came out, hey, look at this pair. And he did it like 6 times. And my husband was mortified. But so I would say Sal was probably 4 at that time, maybe even 3. So it started early, the shoe obsession. And obviously that's another thing that we have in common. You used to like to wear my shoes. I would come home and you'd put on my high heels. You liked being collar, which is funny. Why I always wore heels too. But yeah, definitely got that from me.
Well, it's still around too. Like in my closet, I think I have at least like, I don't even know now, like probably 40 or 50 pairs of shoes. Like they can't even fit on the shelf anymore. I got to put the boxes on the ground and everything. Right. It's gotten too much.
Yeah, and well, like I said, you're lucky your feet haven't grown since you were in like 7th grade, because that's really when you started to become a sneakerhead.
Yeah.
And fortunately, all those shoes are still pretty much in your closet, and since you keep them nice and in the boxes, they're still in really good shape.
It's funny too, because I only wear like my white Vans. I don't really wear any of the other stuff. Like occasionally I'll wear like Jordan 1s, but like it's just mainly my white Vans.
And I think that's been since the pandemic, really.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't really. I feel like with the brand blowing up and everything, like it's like I didn't have access to wear all these cool shoes and get all this cool stuff before, and now that I can, it's like, oh, it's like, it's not that cool. I'd rather just wear like Vans, like what I always had, you know. I don't know.
Maybe. So the next question, how much of what Sal does do I understand? And I would say most of it. Granted, this screen that's in front of us that's showing the recording is I've never seen anything like that. But the social media, I get it. And, I'm on Clubhouse thanks to Sal inviting me. So I know how to use that. And I'm not like an old lady. I'm pretty hip.
Yeah.
Or whatever the word is for hip that I don't know, because I'm not that hip. But I would say, maybe like the ads and that kind of thing. And certainly Sal does this day in and day out and has been doing it for over 3 years. So he knows it way more intimately than I do. But I have a pretty good grip on it.
Yeah, I just think like where you would maybe get some issues is the ads, like you said, and maybe like Photoshop and Illustrator.
Yeah. I think I could do it, but I've never used those things.
Yeah. Well, I know you'd be a quick learner.
Yeah. I'm pretty tech savvy.
Yeah. So they wanted to know, this is like everyone's main question they had for you. How did you feel like when I told you I wanted to start a brand?
So I remember it like it was yesterday. I literally remember, like, I don't know, coming home from work and Sal, like, being in his doorway of his bedroom, and he was like, oh, so I'm going to start a clothing brand, and I called some screen printers in the area and, XYZ. And it really seemed out of the blue for me, and I wasn't surprised. I was like, okay, what do you need anything from me? And that's awesome, and I was excited, and really, I always told you that whatever you wanted to do could be a job, and it didn't have to be on a list. Mm-hmm. And I really always just wanted for you to do something that you really enjoyed doing, and something that made you jump out of bed in the morning, and that you really had the drive to do and stick with.
Well, I definitely think it paid off, you telling me that from a young age, because, like, I don't really know how many parents would be okay, like, their son says, hey, I want to, I don't know, quit college to do my brand, like, because I feel like Dad was a little more supportive with that at first, because I think you were like, I don't know. But I remember Dad being more supportive.
Yeah, I think that I was covering for him. I think that I was, like, being conservative and saying maybe hold off because that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to be, you know, a united front as a parent.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily really how I felt.
Well, I remember you were the one advocating me to let me quit my job though, because he was like, "Nope, absolutely not." And then I was like, "Mom, I can't keep doing this. I'm spending too much time. Like, this is not gonna be. This opportunity won't be here forever, but like a job will." And then, you kind of helped convince him to let me quit.
What really convinced him was the list that you wrote at whatever 1:00 in the morning. I think you
Yeah.
like time stamped it and said, you know, here's I forget how many reasons, 20
was 12.
reasons. Okay, 12 reasons of why I should quit my job. And as soon as, you know, I was the first one up, I saw that, I read it, and as soon as Dad got up, I showed him, and I was pretty sure that he would be supportive, and he saw that and he was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't wait for you to get up so I could be like, you got the stamp of approval.
Hey, we're actually coming up on like 1 year of that, because I remember I put in no, it was, yeah, it's 1 year now, because I remember I put my 2 weeks in on, yeah, it's literally today, so the 11th, and
Oh,
my
that's
last
funny.
day was on the 25th, so
That's
it's
so funny.
1 year since
Yeah.
that happened. So
Nice.
that's crazy. I remember being actually like scared that Dad said yes to let me quit. I was like, oh god, now I have to like actually follow through with this and like make this kind of successful, because I had like maybe 20K followers at the time, and I was like on TikTok maybe like 10K, and it's a big commitment to just leave like that and rely on yourself to like get your own money and revenue, and luckily it turned out good.
Well, there's a lot of inspiration in that too, and you know, I got to make it happen because that's what I said I was going to do.
Yeah.
So
like what point did you believe like that this would really work and like this would be my career path I wanted to take?
I really believed it from the word go. As soon as you said you wanted to start a brand and you reached out and like you had a paper that, you know, you had a plan, and I had no doubt at that point that it was going to be something that would work and stick. And I knew that as long as you, you know, kept giving your attention to it and your energy, that it was going to work.
Yeah, I feel like
it was like, don't look back.
Yeah, exactly, that anything can happen attitude, and that just being persistent, honestly, because it took like really the first 2 years I wouldn't really count as, I don't know, I would say last year was my first real year as a brand, whereas like the past two were kind of just, oh hey, I have this cool little brand, like check out what I do, and then last year things got serious. So
well, you were getting used to it and figuring it out, and plus you had school, and
yeah,
you know, you were really young and you've learned a lot. So
yeah, last year
that's the evolution.
Definitely taught me more than I've ever learned in my whole life.
Yeah, way more than you learned in school for all of the years that you went.
Yeah. They ask, do you consider me like successful?
Definitely. And the thing about success is you define it for yourself. And you know, that's another thing that I told you. If your idea of success is working and, you know, being able to make $1,000 a month and live off of that, and you're happy and content and not depending on anyone else, that's success. Success is being content and happy and, you know, just living to your idea of being fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you've always been successful. And as long as you're really being true to yourself and not living someone else's dream,
yeah,
you're successful.
Yeah, and I'm reading this book right now. It's called Rise and Grind by Damon John, who's like a host of Shark Tank, and there's a lot of cool people in the book. Like the one part I just read, it's Tyler the Creator's part, and he said don't think of failure as he said he hates the word failure, and to think about it as a lesson of what not to do rather than a failure. And like he said, just use it as a future lesson. And like he doesn't like to like really beat himself up over goals, because what he says is it'll happen no matter what, like eventually. Whereas he said if he has a song and he wants to do it today and then something goes wrong and he can't do it till tomorrow, like it'll get done in the past, and it'll, I don't know, I'm describing it kind of bad, but he put it in like a really good way.
So like, you know what WD-40 is, right?
Yeah.
You know what the 40 comes from?
No.
Yeah, it took them 39 times before they got it right.
Really?
Yeah, and there's like a cleaner called Formula 409.
Really?
Same thing.
Wow.
Yeah, So it's, you know, I think that there's one-hit wonders for a reason, and then something that really is around to stay takes time and takes that failure, which isn't really a failure. It's just a lesson on what not to do and a reason to, you know, get back to the drawing board and do something different, tweak a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of seeing that now too, because like I was so used to last year with every month I would double the amount of orders and the amount of sales I would do every single month, and then one month it just drops and I'm like, wait, what happened? This is impossible. Like, why did this happen? I started freaking out and like beating myself up when I'm looking back like, okay, that's a really good drop. It did really good, but I'm not used to doubling it, or it didn't double, so I was really like kind of, I wouldn't say disappointed, but I was like really like freaked out, or not freaked out, like, you know, what's the word I'm thinking of?
I guess just disappointed or
Disappointed, or like I just wasn't like ready for that to happen, and then like now I'm realizing like, hey, like there's up and downs. It's really a marathon, not a race.
Yes.
And it's just like about having your brand have longevity, and just don't be a one-hit wonder that just was around for a little bit and then no one knows about them. You gotta really put your presence out there and make it so people talk about your brand in the future and like have an impact on the whole community, honestly.
And there's no arrival, right? So now anyone who knows me well enough, especially like Dean and Liam, Justin, they know that I'm a yogi and I teach yoga. And like we say, there's no arrival in the pose, like you get there, but it's different every time. And
Yeah.
sometimes you're really strong, and sometimes you can do crazy twisting and you know, deep poses, and then other times, you know, you're wobbly and you fall and it's a big mess, and that's really how life is. That's how the brand is. Like, it's not, and when you're looking from the outside into someone else's, you're just seeing the highlights.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it might look like it's easy for others and this is only your struggle, but it's not. It's for everybody, and no one has it where it's just like push a button and you just keep going and keep going up. It's up and down.
People don't know. They can look into the brand and say, okay, wow, they got a lot of good things going, but behind the scenes they're not seeing us deal with our manufacturers, our customers, everything like that, and
Right.
delays and COVID, and just literally if something can go wrong, it probably will go wrong.
Yeah, and because of your commitment and because of how much you're dedicated to the brand and this is what you want for your life, we figure it out. We put our heads together, and sometimes you know, disagree and say, nope, I'm just going to do this instead and whatever, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets messy, and it's never perfect for long, and that's the fun of it, really, because when you look back and you've gotten past something that was challenging, it's that much better.
Yeah, you get creative with how you use your problem solving skills, and there's always a solution. You just have to really go around the straightforward path.
Yeah, I tell you all the time, and Baron Baptiste says this: the answer to how is
Why?
yes.
Really? I got it right?
No. The answer to how is yes.
The answer to how is yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
how do I do this? Yes.
Oh, so you just do it. You got to find out how to
Yes.
do it. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's what I did. Like, even with, like, a 16-year-old kid doesn't know how to get shirts made. He's going to Google it and then have to call these places and find out about pricing, if they do prints this place, that place, blah, blah, blah. And you just have to really do it. Like, just do it.
Just do it. Yep.
Nike says it all the
Exactly.
time.
And honestly, I don't know if anyone thinks that we helped you. You did this. You hustled. You planned. You sweated. Like, you lost sleep. This was you. I mean, I've slept fine every night. This was you. You created this. And yeah, Dad and I chip in when you need help or where we think that, you know, we can add some value. You have the final say, and this is you.
Well, you guys definitely helped me out. You can't just say, like, you didn't do anything, because obviously you guys helped me out.
Yeah, but especially in the beginning, it was just, you know, Sal's thing.
Well, yeah, I think you guys, like, really, like, pitched in, I'd say, like, last summer.
Yeah.
Because when we were getting so many orders, we were really unorganized. Then you guys helped me, like, really organize the basement. Let me take it over as, like, my warehouse.
Yep.
Because I don't know how many people are willing to sacrifice their, like, I don't know, you'd say, like, it's 2,500, 3,000 square feet down there.
No, it's probably about 1,500.
I don't know. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do my math.
It's probably maybe 15, maybe a little bit more. But we're lucky to have the space. And it's funny because we say we used to have parties down there. And like it used to be used for fun. And now it's used for brand. And that's fine. I'm glad that we have that.
Yeah, it's nice because I don't have to pay for a warehouse, drive out there, get all employees, all that stuff. This is a lot easier on me.
Definitely. And yeah, no travel.
Yeah. I know we have this list too, but I want to bring up one topic. So obviously you were really supportive of me starting. Like, what kind of advice would you give to kids who want to start their own brand, but like their parents aren't really so approving of it? They're like, oh, I don't know, I'd stick in school, Jimmy, or I would look into something else. Like, what would you tell those kids?
Yeah, fight for it. And when I say fight, that's not like get upset and worked up and nasty. It's stand your ground and be calm. Like it's so much easier to listen to someone when they're calm and not lacking emotion, just that they're confident in it. And I know that I can make this work, or I know that I need to give this all I have to see where it goes. If you're emotional and dismissive or anything like that, then it's harder to listen to. Same from a kid's perspective, listening to their parents. Like if your parent is like, ranting and raving and, going off the rails, like go clean your room and you never did, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's hard to listen to. Whereas if you say, I really need help with this, I need you to, contribute to the house, whatever it is, easier to listen to than the ranting and raving.
Yeah, because if you probably told me, like, hey, could you clean your room, I'd probably do it instead of, what the hell are you doing?
Right,
Go
you
clean
never
your
clean
room.
your room. It's such a, no one wants to listen to that. So I think it's being effective and saying, like, this is my plan, explain why you are committed to doing it, and at least giving it your all to see where it goes.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the times if you come at your parents with, like, some facts written down and, like, make a good argument, I think a lot of them be willing to listen to you.
And even more so if you don't need anything from them. I mean, you started this brand with like $30. Maybe not 30, but a little bit,
The first order cost $240.
There you go. Yeah, and it was all your money. And I mean, you can edit this out if you really want to, but you've never taken a dime from anybody for it. Like
never.
This is all you reinvested every dollar you earned from the brand from the start. And that's how you got where you are. And I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And anybody can do it. I mean, it's not easy, and anybody can do it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't realize, like, to get it where it is, you just have to work a little bit harder than everyone else, because a lot of people will just, like, quit after a little bit, and if you don't quit, then you can really get somewhere, because if you go through my year of 2019 with how little I did with orders and how many followers I had, it's like a lot of people would have quit with the position that I was in, but
yeah,
I just knew it would always get to this point, and I was like, you know what, it's just gonna take time, and look, now we're here, and it's gotten to a really good point, and I can only imagine, like, what the next year will really bring for me.
And I think that point where you want to quit is probably the most pivotal point.
Yeah.
Where you need to put the pedal to the metal, like really grind it out and recommit. That's where you're going to flip it to the next level.
Yeah, and your attitude towards how everything is going is, like, plays a really big factor. Like, you should never be negative about anything. Like, if you have a bad drop, you should be like, okay, let me use this as a lesson. Like, what did I do? Like, just analyze it. Say, okay, I put out this kind of product. It didn't really sell well. But on the bright side, this one sold well. And, like, just...
Yeah, look at what was good, what did work.
Yeah.
That you could recreate or tweak. And definitely what didn't work. And if you're able to determine why...
Yeah.
And sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't.
Yeah, but that's just how life goes. And it'll all work out.
Yeah.
The next one they ask is, what are the biggest lessons from 8th Wonder success?
I would say that just anybody can do anything, and that no one can do it alone. Like, everybody needs, whether it's moral support or ideas, help, that in order to be successful, you can only be a one-man band for so long before you, like, when you're making all that noise just inside your own head, you're living inside your head, and you don't know necessarily what's reality. Like, you need to get outside of your head a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, when you're able to do that and take input. And we've had some not quite knockdown, drag out disagreements. Well, you and Dad have.
Yeah. Dad's like, screw you, I'm done with this. I'm not
Right.
helping you ever again. Then literally 10 minutes later, he's like, okay, let's do this
As
now.
many times as he's told that to you to your face, he's probably told me twice as much behind the scenes. And I'm like, you can't do that.
I can only imagine.
But he's pretty reactionary, where he'll be like, I give up. And he just needs to like say that so that he can have the freedom to be like, okay, no, I want to do this.
Yeah.
You know, like walk away and then choose to come back kind of thing. But I think, yeah, success is, you know, starting it on your own and then asking for help when and where you need it.
I'd say this is a big piece of advice I had people. This is my biggest struggle. I have such a hard time delegating things to other people to do, because I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I feel like I can do what I do better than anyone and like twice as fast. Because I was just listening to a podcast with the creator of Burton Snowboards, and he said he had the same problem, and he just could not delegate anything. And he said like that at a time there was like 100 something employees at his company, and he felt like I could do everyone's job and I could do it way better than they can, but he just has to let go and let other people do some of the work too, which I still have to do. Like, it's just really hard for me to do that, but I need to focus on like what I can do better than everyone else, and like give people jobs that they can do just about as good as I can, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And when you're getting bigger, like, first of all, it's an opportunity for other people.
Yeah.
And you know who used to run their business like that was Sun.
Sun Yi.
Yeah. He wanted, you know, he owned a business or owns a business and wanted to have final control and would just take over and make up for other people's work because, yeah, he didn't have the trust or the faith or the patience or whatever it was. And you're not allowing yourself like the freedom to take a break and the freedom to be like, it is a gift to be able to support other people.
Yeah.
And you're not allowing them that gift to contribute.
Yeah, that's one of my like really main goals right now, is to start trying to delegate some of the stuff and trust other people, because I hate letting people do other things that I know I can do better myself, or not even better, but like just things I can do myself. Like, I feel like a burden asking for people to do some things sometimes, and it's just, I have to learn that it's okay to let people do some things for you.
Yeah, I begged you to like, what can I do to help? Like, I want to be in contribution to you and your life and the brand. So I really enjoy doing the customer service emails and whatever, you know, other things I do to contribute. I like it. It gives me some satisfaction, not to claim any stake or, you know, anything in the brand's success. Just to say, like, I'm doing something to help.
Yeah, and
I think most people like to help.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll come to me like, hey, did you see the email from this person? They just sent me this, and they love this so much. Like, we had someone email us with, the subject was 9-ball plush, and they sent a picture of the skate ball plush and said, OMG, I love this so much. Could you guys please make a 9-ball plush next? And it's always nice to get those kind of emails too, because it just keeps us motivated and happy.
Yeah,
and it shows that you guys really like what we're doing.
We like to show up for the customers. Yes, a lot of times we'll get, I love the brand, and it'll just be like, here's your order confirmation, and someone will reply back, I love this brand. And it's, you know, those are always the ones that I call out to you. I really also like the ones that are like A1 customer service, because I'm like, Sal, did you see that? Make sure I get a raise.
Yeah. They also ask, so did you think that 8th Wonder would ever be as big as it is right now?
I absolutely did. Again, just like I knew that it was going to be a great success. And I know that it's going to be even bigger. Like, it is going to be just a household name. We're already, I say we, your brand is all over the world. All over. I mean, I help with the orders, so I know where these orders are going. And it is so crazy to me to know that when the world opens back up, I could go anywhere in the world and just pass someone on the street that's wearing an 8th Wonder shirt. And that is amazing to me. And I know that it is going to be even bigger, even stronger, and more popular.
Yeah, I definitely think that within 5 years, I'll probably have my own storefront or storefront somewhere too, and it'll be cool to, I don't know, like show people at your work, like, hey, this is my son's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I think that's cool though.
Definitely.
So they also ask, do you wear any 8th Wonder stuff? So I'll let you talk all about that.
Yeah. I absolutely do. I proudly wear the 8th Wonder. I don't have the gold one, but I have the silver 8th Wonder logo necklace that I wear, and I cheat a little bit. I use my clout as the mother of 8th Wonder and get custom items made. So I prefer like a more girly fit. So I do get my own blanks and have the designs that I love best put on them. And I have, oh my gosh, probably at least 10 hoodies or sweatshirts with different logos on it. And, you know, once or twice I did my own custom fade hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see, I have the sweatpants, the puff sweatpants that you're wearing right now. Only I
yeah.
have them with the blue. I love those. And hats, but also I do my own custom hats. Like I'll pick my own color because Sal usually does black, and black doesn't look great on me. So like the split hat that was January's drop, I got it on red hat.
Yeah, I'm pretty jealous of that. I wish I got one for myself.
I don't know why you didn't just make it a 2 on that order, but that is the best thing. And since I'm usually involved in sending the order over to the company for production, I just put whatever I want on there. And so that's a pretty cool perk. But I proudly, like, I know people around town know the brand very well, and I'll be out and people will beep. And it's really funny sometimes when I see someone else wearing the brand and I'm like, hey, 8th Wonder. So that's good. But I love wearing the clothes.
Yeah, that's always cool to see you wear, like, I don't know, if you're doing yoga or something, you'll have like an 8th Wonder t-shirt on or something.
Yep. I mean, I just wear it like out wherever I'm going on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have some good stuff. I have a nice collection.
So next they ask, what was your reaction when I hit 100K on Instagram?
So you remember this, Sal. We have a big chalkboard in our family room, and, you know, we were tracking like 10,000, and we were putting, you know, I had like 15,000. It was kind of like this road to 100K that we drew out on the chalkboard, and we just had it in the different increments. And every time we got to the next mile marker, I would cross it off. I'd be like watching, and we'd be really, really close. And then I'd wake up the next day and I'd see that we hit it. So I'd, you know, very ceremoniously go to the chalkboard and cross it off and ready for the next increment. So we were ready. We were pumped, and we knew that it was going to be right around the 3-year mark, and it ended up being just before.
No, it was June 30th.
Oh, okay.
So we were like
2 months before. Yeah.
The goal was like by August, by 3 years, but we blew that out of the park.
Yep.
Now it's like super hard to grow, but we're doing our best.
Yeah, it'll get there.
Yeah. Did you ever doubt like me at all with the brand, or doubt anything about it?
No. I mean, there's been times where you've been, you know, a little bit on the defeated side. And I think at some point in the last year you were, you know, pretty up in arms about it. And we were like, so just fold it up, forget about it, put it away. And you said to us, don't ever let me do that. Like, don't. We need you to, you know, I need you guys to say, keep going. And so that was the one and only time that we gave you that out. So I never doubted it. I just didn't want you to, if you lost your passion and drive for it, I didn't want you to keep doing it. But that clearly stated that you had a lot of drive and passion for it.
I feel like that if I ever feel, well, a lot of times, like, sometimes I'll get really tired of doing it. I'm like, oh my God, I just need a break. Like, taking a day off is such a blessing sometimes, like just not doing any work for the day. And then other days, like this whole past week, I've been working since 8 a.m. until at least 10 p.m. And it's going to be a lot of that. Like, you just have to want it more than everyone else. And it's just, I don't know. Of course I doubt myself, but people never really see that too. They only see the positive parts of it. So
Yeah, they see the glory and the
yeah,
beauty of it all, the fancy dazzle.
and anyone that has a brand can definitely understand that too, because there's high and lows for everybody, no matter how big or small your brand is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice though when it's like this recently, the last week or two, it's been a lot of snow here. When it's nice out, or at least mild, even in the days that it's like, 50 degrees, you'll go over to the driving range and hit some golf balls.
Oh yeah.
Like that's nice to just carve out, like you recognize when you're on overload, and that is a good thing to do, to just step away, take a breather, get your mind off of it, get some, physical activity in your body, and then back to it. And I think you probably feel a lot more productive when you come back to it.
Oh, definitely. And I can't wait for it to be spring so I can literally go hit the new golf clubs I got and everything. I only got to use. I only played with them once, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited. But so like, where do you see the brand in 5 years?
So I guess we touched on it a little bit. I think that in 5 years, you're gonna be in stores, whether it's more like boutique stores or your own store, and I think it'll be not out of necessity, but like out of kind of a
just cool factor.
Yeah, like, oh, I can walk in and get, like, that's a special store because I can go in and get 8th Wonder there.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's going to be huge, and I think design-wise, you'll be even further than you are now.
Yeah.
And probably, I mean, I would have to think a team of employees supporting the brand, and probably a warehouse, and, more of a physical on the back end, and on the, store end, more of a physical presence of the brand, as well as, really spanning the globe even more.
Yeah, I think we definitely have a lot of cool stuff coming along, and I know that you and Dad will definitely be along for the ride.
Yep, definitely. And we give lots of ideas that you shoot down.
Well, you know what they say, it takes like 7 no's to hear a yes.
Yes.
It's better to hear some ideas than no ideas,
That's
even
right.
if I don't like them.
Yep, definitely.
Before we, I know we're at a pretty good point for this episode. Do you have anything you want to add or tell people, say anything?
I want to say that I'll wrap it up with I am so super proud of Sal and what he's created for himself and for all of you, and even those who aren't listening, those of you who will listen in the future. When it really gets skyrocketed, the brand, and people are going back into the archives to listen to this.
Yeah.
I am just super proud of Sal. He has a lot of courage and passion, and he's a great human being. And actually, Emily, one of his friends, had said to me, he's one of the best human beings on the planet. And I was like, oh my God, someone else feels about my son the way that I do. Like, you really are a good person. And I think, like, purchasing from a brand and being part of, the Discord community with a good person, you're all really lucky, and I'm super lucky to have you in my life.
Well, thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. So yeah, we'll kind of wrap this up now. I think you guys definitely will like this episode. Thank you if you listened to this far, and
thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll probably do another episode in the future. Well, we definitely will with my mom again, and maybe
we'll get your dad.
Maybe get Dad on too. So thanks for listening, guys. Make sure you follow the Pool Table on Instagram. Follow at 8th Wonder. Follow at 8th Wonder Comics. Subscribe to 8th Wonder on YouTube. Check us out everywhere, and thanks for listening. See ya.